R. L. Stevenson. Robert Louis Stevenson, a Scottish author born in 1850 and passing away in 1894, was a prolific and versatile writer. His works encompassed various genres including novels, essays, poetry, and travel writing. Stevenson is widely recognized for creating enduring classics such as Treasure Island, Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Kidnapped, and The Child's Garden of Verses. Born and educated in the vibrant city of Edinburgh, Stevenson faced severe bronchial issues throughout his life, which didn't deter him from his relentless pursuit of writing and exploration. Despite his health problems, he continued to produce a substantial body of work and embarked on extensive travels, often pushing the boundaries of his physical well being. In his youth, he mingled with prominent literary figures in London, receiving encouragement from the likes of Andrew Lang, Edmund Gosse, Leslie Stephen, and W. E. Henley, the latter potentially serving as the inspiration for Long John Silver in his beloved novel Treasure Island. In 1890, Stevenson made his home in Samoa, where he grew increasingly concerned about the encroachment of European and American influences in the South Sea Islands. As a result, his writing took a different direction, shifting from tales of adventure and romance to a more somber and realistic outlook. Stevenson's life came to an end in 1894 on the island of Samoa, where he had chosen to reside, leaving behind a lasting legacy of literary treasures. Robert Louis Stevenson's literary contributions are extensive and enduring, with notable works including Treasure Island, Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, A Child's Garden of Verses, The Master of Ballantrae, Ware of Hermiston, Travels with a Donkey in the Savannahs, and many more. His diverse writings continue to captivate readers and inspire generations of authors. Treasure Island. Treasure Island by Scottish author Robert Louis Stevenson is a classic adventure novel that revolves around the themes of pirates and hidden treasure. It is often hailed as a coming-of-age story and is celebrated for its evocative atmosphere, memorable characters, and thrilling action sequences. Initially published as a serial between 1881 and 1882 in the children's magazine Young Folks under the title Treasure Island or the Mutiny of the Hispaniola, it has since become one of the most frequently adapted and dramatized novels across various media. Summary of the novel. The story centers on a young protagonist named Jim Hawkins who assists his parents in managing the Admiral Benbow Inn near Bristol, England. The inn's quiet life is disrupted when a menacing figure, Billy Bones, arrives and takes up lodging. After Billy's death and a sequence of dramatic events, including pirate threats, Jim discovers a treasure map that ignites a dangerous adventure. With the guidance of Dr. Livesey and Squire Trelawney, Jim embarks on a quest to Skeleton Island to find the hidden riches. Little does he know that the treacherous Long John Silver, a one-legged pirate, is among the crew hired for the expedition. As the voyage unfolds, Jim overhears Silver and his companions plotting mutiny and murder. What follows is a gripping narrative of deceit, treachery, sword fights, and survival. Jim, Dr. Livesey, and Squire Trelawney must rely on their wits and bravery to outsmart the ruthless pirates, ultimately returning home with the treasure. However, Silver escapes with a portion of the wealth. Beyond being an exhilarating adventure tale, Treasure Island also offers profound coming-of-age elements as Jim confronts life and death situations and confronts moral dilemmas. The novel introduced numerous iconic pirate concepts such as one-legged sailors, ships with black sails, treasure maps marked with an X, the ominous black spot, and pirates uttering pieces of eight. Its influence endures as exemplified by the enduring fascination with pirate lore, as evidenced by the immensely popular Pirates of the Caribbean film series. Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde is a Gothic novella by Scottish author Robert Louis Stevenson, first published in 1886. This work explores the duality of human nature and remains widely recognized for its examination of the consequences of indulging in the darker facets of one's character. The story follows Mr. Gabriel John Utterson, a London lawyer, as he investigates the peculiar occurrences involving his old friend, Dr. Henry Jekyll, and a malevolent alter ego named Edward Hyde. The narrative unfolds from the perspective of Mr. Gabriel John Utterson, a respected London lawyer. It commences with a conversation between Utterson and Mr. Richard Enfield, who recounts a disturbing incident involving a small girl who was trampled by a man named Mr. Edward Hyde. Hyde is described as loathsome and his violent actions raise questions. Utterson's unease deepens when he discovers that Dr. Jekyll has made a will that bequeaths all his possessions to Mr. Hyde. The lawyer becomes increasingly concerned as he delves into the mystery surrounding Hyde, Jekyll's seclusion, and the inexplicable connection between the two. Utterson's investigations reveal a disturbing pattern as it appears that Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde share the same handwriting. A series of revelations follows, unveiling the shocking truth. Dr. Jekyll had developed a potion that allowed him to separate the good and evil aspects of his personality. He could, at will, transform into Mr. Hyde, who personified his darker urges. As Jekyll continued to use this concoction, he struggled to control the transitions. Eventually, he found himself unable to return to his original self, and Hyde's malevolence began to dominate. The story concludes with Utterson and his clerk finding Hyde's body in Jekyll's laboratory and Jekyll's final confession. Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde delves into the profound theme of human duality, exploring the coexistence of good and evil within a single individual. Stevenson's narrative presents the consequences of suppressing one's darker nature and the potential consequences of indulging in it. The novella's enduring significance lies in its exploration of the human psyche and the moral dilemmas that arise from the struggle between opposing impulses. Jerome K. Jerome K. Jerome, whose full name is Jerome Klapka Jerome, was an English novelist and playwright known for his warm, unsatirical, and approachable humor. He led a diverse life working as a railway clerk, school teacher, actor, and journalist. His literary career began with the publication of On the Stage and Off in 1885, but he gained widespread acclaim with subsequent works like The Idle Thoughts of an Idle Fellow and Three Men in a Boat. Jerome was also involved in editing The Idler, a monthly magazine, and contributed to it alongside renowned writers such as Mark Twain and Bret Harte. Among his other works are Three Men on the Bummel and Paul Kelver. His memoirs, My Life and Times, were published in 1926. Three Men in a Boat. Three Men in a Boat, to say nothing of the dog, published in 1889, is a humorous narrative by English writer Jerome K. Jerome. It recounts a 2-week boating holiday along the Thames River, covering the journey from Kingston upon Thames to Oxford and back to Kingston. Initially conceived as a serious travel guide with local history accounts, the novel's comedic elements gradually took over, making it a classic in the humor genre. Notably, the humor in the book continues to resonate with modern readers, characterized by its freshness and wit. The story revolves around three main characters inspired by real-life individuals. Jerome K. Jerome himself, known as the narrator J, is joined by his friends George Wingrave and Carl Henschel, who often embark on boating trips together. Their canine companion, Montmorency, though entirely fictional, adds to the comedic dynamics of the story. The novel captures the essence of a typical Thames camping skiff vacation, a popular leisure activity at the time. Following the enormous success of Three Men in a Boat, Jerome penned a sequel, Three Men on the Bummel, in 1900, chronicling a cycling tour in Germany. Summary of the novel. The story begins by introducing the characters George, Harris, J, and the dog Montmorency. The trio is gathered in J's room, discussing their various imagined ailments caused by overwork. To alleviate their suffering, they decide they need a holiday, and considering both a countryside stay and a sea trip, they opt for a boating adventure up the River Thames from Kingston upon Thames to Oxford, during which they plan to camp along the way. They embark on their journey the following Saturday, with George joining them after finishing work. Their travels take them through various landmarks, and Jay provides historical insights on places like Hampton Court Palace, Hampton Church, Magna Carta Island, and Monkey Island. Amid the scenic descriptions, the narrative veers into humorous anecdotes ranging from unreliable barometers to the challenges of learning the Scottish bagpipes. Jay shares entertaining stories related to their river journey and previous boating misadventures. Jerome K. Jerome's Three Men in a Boat combines travelogue elements with light-hearted humor, offering readers an enjoyable and timeless literary experience.